Do you want to learn more about the Ned Rig and what gear you need to start fishing it? Well, this is the video for you! Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Fish Talk. If you're new to this series, basically I've got 5 minutes to discuss all things fishing. I make videos every single Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, so click subscribe to stay tuned. Shout out to Fishin' and Junk for this awesome topic suggestion. He's linked in the description below. Go check him out. Out of coffee. Guys, I've drank like 10 gallons of coffee this morning. I've also loaded 5 minutes on my timer here, and you know what that means. Time to get real. Okay, if you're new to my channel, here's the thing. I throw the heck out of a Ned Rig. I've been doing it for several years before it was even called the Ned Rig. So I think I have a little bit of knowledge on the subject. Obviously, I'm not perfect. There's lots of other great content out there. I'm going to try to stick mostly to what gear you want today. I've only got 5 minutes. I can only talk about so much. There's a lot of other great content out there on my channel and on others. But watch mine. Anyways, what exactly is a Ned Rig? A Ned Rig is basically a small jig head with a small hook and a small plastic. Very finesse, very simple. You might call it something else, but I call it a Ned Rig. I always use like a 15th or 16th ounce jig head. I don't get much bigger than that. And sometimes 3/32, sometimes a little bit lighter, so on and so forth. But generally speaking, that's the size I use, and that's what I consider a true Ned Rig. 99% of the time, that's what I throw. You can do others, depending on the water you fish, but that's what I think will be most productive for you. Now, what is the baits? The bait, I'd say a good representation of what exactly a Ned Rig bait is you take the Z-Man Finesse TRD, and it basically looks like a small stick bait, 2 3/4 inches long, and it really doesn't look like a whole lot, and that's the point. It looks like nothing when it's down there. It's just drifting around. It's so basic that it's so special, and that's why fish just love it. You don't have to do a lot to catch the fish. You dead stick it. It just shifts around. It just drifts and swims, and all of a sudden they slurp it. Looks like a minnow, looks like a crawfish, whatever. So what colors would you want? The same thing as any other plastic, you want to apply it to your area. What is the local forage? If there's a ton of bluegill there, do a bluegill type color. Green pumpkin, blue, green pumpkin orange, whatever that may be. Copper truce, that's actually my personal favorite color in almost every situation. If there's a whole bunch of minnows there, you can use more like the white baits, and you can even use more of like the, I guess they call this the finesse shads, but any of the things that look a little bit more like a minnow, that could be a great option. Basically, it's like any other plastic, right? You want to make sure the color you're throwing is representative of the forage and the water color that you're fishing. Really dirty water, darker hues. Really clear water, more natural hues. Boom, settled. Let's talk about the rod and reel, because this is a huge part of this. Now, I happen to throw, it's like a G Loomis GL2 drop shot rod, if you want the exact specs. I don't care what brand you throw. All freaking rods are the same these days. I mean, somebody's gonna get mad at me for saying that, but there's a ton of rods out there is what I'm saying, and they're all very similar. What I look for is a good solid flex at the tip of my rod. You want the backbone though. Notice how it's flexing up in the upper third portion of this rod, but not in the lower portion. That's what I've found works fantastically. I just happen to luck into what I feel is one of the best Ned Rig rods on the market. Now, you don't have to always do exactly as I do. If you have a little bit stouter rod already, that's a spinning rod. Spinning rod is a must. If you have a stouter rod, make up for it with your drag. Basically what I mean by that is because I have a lot of flex there, I can have my drag set pretty tight. But if you don't have a lot of flex in your rod, you're gonna wanna set it looser. That way when you pull back, you're not just ripping the hook right out of the fish's mouths, knowing that the hook is minuscule. That's like the little that's like the little scientific type stuff that I like to do. Bass fishing is a true science. We overcomplicate things, but why not? It's fun. As far as the spinning reel goes, really any spinning reel will work. This is whatever. I'm not going to give a bunch of brand shout outs. Any spinning reel will really work. I just like something that is lightweight and that has a good smooth drag. That's always what I look for in a spinning reel. Now, what kind of line do you want to spool it up with? This is another important part. This is a part that I truly have an opinion on that I feel is some of the best stuff that you can use. I use 10-pound high visibility yellow braid, and then I pair up 6 to 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. The reason I use braid is because it's super strong, it's super sensitive, and it has absolutely no stretch. And then fluorocarbon is super clear, so generally I'm fishing this bait, it's a finesse technique. You don't really want to be using straight braid. You can. I know a lot of people that do, but for me, I like to have the leader on there, and it seems to do the job quite nicely. So that's my setup, and I think that it works very fantastically. I'm going to check how much time I got here. Oh wow, I only have 20 seconds. Make sure you drop a comment below on what questions you have, and I'm certainly open to answering them to the best of my ability. Like I said, I've been throwing this rig for a very, very long time, and so I think that I have quite a bit of knowledge on it. I don't know what the heck I'm doing with other rigs. This is one that I do know what the heck I'm doing. Before I get my freaking heart to go into a... Just stop. Just stop. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I know I could have covered down on so much more. I probably needed 10, 15 minutes, but because this is 5-minute fish talk, we had to keep it to 5. Thank you so much, Fishin' and Junk, for the suggestion. If you guys have a suggestion, make sure to drop them in the comment below. And I might just choose them and give you a shout out, which is always a good thing. Hooah! And last but not least, guys, last but not least, have yourselves a fantastic week, and we will catch you next time. Want to get started with a Ned Rig, but you don't got money and you don't got baits? Head on over to my Facebook page. I've got some starter kits up for grabs. Now, if you're watching this video and these have already been given away, there will be more in the future, so stay tuned.